What's going on, piglets? Welcome back to another installment of Cultured by the Uncultured. We are your hosts, DJ, Daniel, Sam, and Taylor B. Unfortunately, today, Sunny could not be with us. She will be dearly missed. Rest in peace. No, I'm just kidding. She's still alive. And she's
doing adult things.
Doing adult things. For real, adulting. Anywho, so you guys, let's just start off. How are you guys feeling today? You guys, the life and times of DJ, Daniel, and Sam. What's going on with you guys? You guys feeling good? Feeling great?
Well, first, I think we should just go ahead and give you a congratulations.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Dad Club.
I know, right?
Yes. I feel like I'm in a prestigious environment now, so hopefully, I can get, reap all the benefits and rewards of being one of those proud fathers, or maybe I'll just become an anime dad.
You have a whole life form that you have to take care of now, that if you fuck up, you may fuck up this whole person's life.
And not just their life, but every person that they interact with, their lives too.
Exactly.
I was going to say potentially others. It's a good thing I'm not white, otherwise I'm 2 times as likely to raise a school shooter.
I mean, think about all the fuckboys with dads that don't care about them. If you now your son's life, that's what you can be creating, a fuckboy for guys with daughters and shit. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel fine. I'm not worried about it at all.
Wow.
I think I'll be a better dad. I think I'll be a better dad than Goku and Vegeta combined.
I mean, it's not that hard to be.
Vegeta's a pretty decent dad. Goku is shit.
But will you be a better dad than LeVar Ball?
Let's hope so.
I mean, LeVar Ball did everything he could to get his kids where they need to be, and he did a pretty good job of it, if I say so myself.
And one of them went to UCLA and was still a thief. All right. Next up.
Anyway.
They told him to steal the show.
Yeah.
Anyways, but how you guys feeling? You guys feeling good? You guys, it's what is it? Saturday?
Yep, it's definitely Saturday.
No, it's definitely not feeling good.
It's Saturday for us.
Good? How you feel? How's your injury, Sam? How's your post surgery? How you feeling? You feeling good, man? You feeling down? You not feeling so great? What's going on, man? How's the recovery process?
The recruit process is pretty easy. It's whatever I can and can't handle, let pain be my guide. But I suffered a different type of pain the other day. Was it yesterday? 2-3 days ago, we did our draft for fantasy.
Oh, wow.
I feel like I just took $20 and just threw it in the toilet and just start flushing that motherfucker.
Wow.
I had an auto draft. I wasn't even able to pick. I have 5 Chargers on my team.
I don't blame you for your auto draft because you started drafting after, for real. But there were 2-3 people that auto drafted the whole draft.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. I thought that was the end, that people were still auto drafting. I know I didn't get back in until I didn't get in until around 6 because my phone has been on silent this whole time since I've been at the hospital. And when I had the draft open, but I had my phone on silent, so it went off, but I just didn't see. And when I finally looked over, I was like, "Oh shit, round 6, damn!" And then I looked at my team and I was like, "Oh, this isn't so bad." And just kept drafting, and people, of course, complaining, because they didn't get their picks, they didn't get their Saquon,
No.
Kamara.
I got Kamara.
Yeah, he got Kamara. We made a decent trade, but if I put money into something, I expect everyone to take it serious.
Yeah.
Auto drafting, your whole team is not taking it serious. That is,
definitely auto drafting your whole team is not taking it serious at all. But I feel like that hurts the people that are doing it way more than anybody else because they don't know who the hell they're getting.
Well, not necessarily true.
After like round 5 or 6, the picks start to matter because now you're picking guys that are just you're just picking the guys that are on there. You don't know, you're not paying attention to if they're not on a team, to if they're injured, if they're out or anything. It's just whoever was the top last year. That's who's on the chopping block. So now you got to start selecting and figuring out who is actually playing and who's actually doing stuff on the team, who's switched over. Now they're a starter on a different team. They can put up way more points. Who got a different offensive coordinator? Who got a different, whatever.
What I want to know is why didn't we draft today or tomorrow after the cuts happened? Because there's some poor soul that went out there and drafted LaShawn McCoy just for him to get cut.
Side note, whoever drafted LaShawn McCoy, you're a complete idiot. That's your own damn fault.
The reasoning behind that is just because I was trying to get the people who are not on this side of the states. I was trying to accommodate them to some degree. We got a guy in Florida, we got a guy in Ohio, we got people in Texas. Some people couldn't. Some people couldn't draft on Saturday, but a lot of guys were saying let's just draft on Thursday for whatever reason instead of the Friday. I don't know
Thursday.
why.
Thursday is such a weird ass day.
Yeah, I thought so too, but
And then all those people you tried to accommodate auto drafted.
Yeah.
What did you learn?
Man, but I mean, I think it'll be a good season. There's the trade deadline isn't until November 22nd, so plenty of times to trade. There's a waiver wire, so first come, first serve if you're on the waiver wire, that is. But or if you're the top of the waiver wire, I should say. But we'll see how the season plays out. I'm confident in my team. I'm sure other people are confident. Taylor A wishes he got first pick. He feels really, really jilted on the fact that he didn't get first pick. But I mean, next year, I figured maybe next year, if we all decide to do it again, because I mean, the majority of us came back this season. So if we do it again, I figured next year maybe we could do a manual draft where maybe we could discuss whoever the champion is can get the first pick if that's what they want, And then after that, it's pick them out of a hat, and then we'll just pick players, so on and so forth. Make it a little bit better so that we don't have to run into this auto draft thing, so there's no issues in that department.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I will say that to talk a little bit about what Sam was talking about the auto draft. Yeah, I'm a little butthurt that I auto drafted basically my whole team. But I will say that this is my $20 league. I do have some leagues that are worth a lot more money. So if anything, if this is the league that I ended up having to auto draft, I'm fine with that. I can make up. This
is DJ's penny league, basically.
Wow.
Trust me.
We're the penny saver? Okay.
This is the league to pick from other leagues next year.
I don't know, man. $20 is a lot.
DJ stole like 3 picks from me, too. I hate that.
Did I?
Yes. You took DeAndre Hopkins right before, because I knew the person after you was going to take a running back. I was like, oh, here comes Hopkins. Clemson, baby. And then doop, doop.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I saw your team and I saw Kamara still on the board, and I saw you right in front of me. I was like, "There's no way he's gonna pick it. No fucking way he's gonna pick Kamara." I was like, "How the hell?" And I looked. I was like, "Auto draft." Excuse me?
You have Melvin Gordon too, don't you?
Yeah.
DJ?
Well, so. Yeah, I do have Melvin Gordon. So the thing is, I did set up my queue prior to when I found out that it was on Thursday and not Friday. I spent like a good hour just setting up my queue to select some characters, and then even after I picked up my players, I just like we just said in the beginning, I traded with Sam like within like a day of it happening. So Sam ended up getting Kamara. He got what he wanted, and I got Juju, which is what I really wanted. He really dominated for me last year.
It doesn't matter. I'm triple dipping.
You're tripled.
I got Breeze, Kamara, and Cook. Breeze's favorite target is his tight end. Kamara's a beast in the backfield. I'm just gonna get points.
I have Connor Eckler and Gordon as my running backs right now.
Somebody offered me Baker Mayfield and some receiver, I forget who, for Odell Beckham.
Hey, what you trying to trade for OBJ?
Looks like he's like a hot commodity right now. To be honest, though, I really like my team right now.
I got it. I'll give you Robbie Anderson.
I don't know, man. I'd have to really look at other teams to be able and present a trade myself before I could say who I would want, because I like my team the way it is right now, to be honest. But
you're ranked number 1 right now.
At some point in the future, I'm sure I'm going to need to make some trades and make some adjustments to keep up with the times, because I have. My problem with fantasy football is always I pick a good player, and for whatever reason they just decide not to perform that year. So I'm sure somebody's going to fail me, and I'm going to have to start making trades left and right. But only time will tell. I think I've only not made it to the playoffs one time since I've been playing fantasy football. So
I taught you well.
I mean,
wow.
So we'll see how the season goes for sure.
Brandon happens to be the one that has LaShawn McCoy, by the way. Just want to put that out there.
I don't take credit for that one. No.
But I also have Christian McCaffrey though, so I'm happy about that. And
Lightning.
I forget who the other
Damian Williams.
Damian Williams.
There you go. Yeah. So LaShawn McCoy was a little bit of a bullet, but I mean, hey, it's all right. Not as bad as my other league where I picked Andrew Luck and he decided to retire.
Did you see TA still projected to be first place overall?
Who?
Really?
Yeah, TA is projected to be first.
It wouldn't surprise me.
DJ, I'm sorry, they got you projected to go last.
Well, I mean, again, half of my team was auto-drafted, and I have 5 Charger players on my team. I love my Chargers to death, but when I got Rivers, Eckler, Allen, fucking, and Bagley, and the defense, and Gordon. That's fucking 7 people.
Oh man, you definitely got a couple bargaining chips there though, for sure. Especially if Gordon gets that trade. Oh yeah, you definitely got a bargaining chip. Yeah, hell, you might get, if he gets that trade, you might just have a fucking another top right there, and be like, bam, I got a great running back on the Chargers. I got a great running back on on whoever else that Gordon goes to. And who's your other running back? Well, you got rid of Kamara, so I don't know.
I have James Conner, James Conner from the Pittsburgh Steelers, a top 5 running back from last year.
Oh yeah, he's the guy that replaced Le'Veon Bell, right? Oh yeah, you're fine. You're
I got Juju and Allen. Wait, I got Steelers and Chargers. God damn it, man! My bye week's gonna suck.
Oh man. But yeah, for sure. It'll be an exciting season. I can't wait. I'm excited. Only one person has yet to pay, and I'm not gonna call you out this episode, but if you ain't paid by the next episode, I'm gonna call you out.
It wasn't me. I paid you. I know that.
Everybody, like I said, everybody paid except one person so far. So he gonna get called out if he don't pay up.
Pelican Bay.
I'm saying, if I don't win, I want my money back.
Wow. You better try to get.
This man sent me the money and said, make sure I win. That was his message on for the transaction. He said, make sure I win.
Hey, I tried, man. I gave you Kamara. I'm trying to help you.
Oh man. But all right, moving along from there, we got some fantasy football discussion out of the way. Everybody knows, of course, by now I had a son. But following that, there's some movie news. First and foremost, we wanted to talk about the Joker, right, guys?
Oh yeah. Reviews came out today.
For that movie?
Yeah.
What are people saying so far?
So everyone's literally saying like the movie makes you empathetic, but by no means does it make you like feel sorry for him. Like they try to make no excuse for be like, oh, I can see why he did it now. It's like, no, I feel sorry for what happened to him, but he's a fucking ass. That's how it makes you feel.
Okay.
And they say Joaquin Phoenix is giving like an Oscar-worthy performance.
From the trailers, it seemed like it would be really good. That's why when you send me that post about people basically saying or comparing him to like, another, we don't really need a movie about a white man who's being wronged by the world, and killing people because that's happening nowadays and stuff. I was a little bit shocked by that because it really did seem like Joaquin Phoenix was kind of getting into the role. I've heard a bunch of stories about the character of Joker and people trying to get into the role of him. I mean, Heath Ledger, he died. Playing the character.
Best Joker ever.
Best, hands down, the best Joker ever.
And there's been multiple iterations, but this performance seemed like it was going to be interesting. But reading some of the comments that you had shared with us, it really got me thinking. And I wasn't. They weren't too far off in my opinion with that. What's the word I'm looking for? With that take on it. It really is to some degree like he's a character that for whatever reason people love him. They love that he's so crazy. He's Batman's equal, even though he has no training, he has no noble upbringing or anything like that. He's just a crazy man who's able to kind of match wits with Batman, almost every time. And for whatever reason, and some people would even say like, Batman needs him to stay, to stay Batman or whatever. Things like that are really interesting. But at the same time, like at the end of it, like Joker is a killer, and he's crazy. And it even made me think about, Under the Red Hood. Remember when, what's his face? Jason Todd comes back as the Red Hood and he captures Joker and he basically gives Batman an ultimatum, tells him like, why didn't you kill him? Like if he would have done this to you, I would have killed him, no questions asked. And he even tells him at one point, like, why can't you just do it this one time? I'm not telling you to go on a killing spree. Why can't you just do it this one time? And then that'll be that. We don't have to deal with this guy no more. He's never going to break out of Arkham again. This will be the end of his madness, his run, and he'll never be able to hurt anybody ever again. I'm not. He even says, "I'm not telling you to kill." What was that?
It says because of his inner righteousness, he can't do it. He killed someone one time and just felt horrible about it. Yes, Batman has killed before. Look it up.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that is part of it, and it ultimately came down to his morals. And he stops Jason Todd from killing it in a badass way. Basically, dodges a bullet like the fucking Matrix, throws a batarang at the gun, and then stops him from doing it. And then Joker's like, "Oh man, I really wanted to let him do it or whatever." But the character has become so popular for like the wrong reasons. I feel like. And if you're saying they're making him empathetic, like, I mean, you're saying like, people think he's an asshole or whatever, but like empathy implies that people feel, for him or feel for maybe what he's gone through, but ultimately understand probably that, even though you've been through this shitty stuff, you don't have the right to just go around killing people, which is understandable, but people are going to love this character. You're making this character more lovable, more likable, more famous by just exposing him more.
That's what I hate about villains in any kind of movie. I don't want to feel anything. I don't want to feel sorry for the monster or for the villain at the end of the movie. Make my monsters, straight up evil. I want to hate them when I'm done watching the movie.
That's what they're saying. This one is. It's like during the course of the movie, you feel a little empathetic for him. Like, this is tragic and horrible about what's happening to this guy. But at the end of it, you're like, yeah, it was tragic and horrible, but by no means does it lead to the point at which he took it. Like, I can't feel bad for you. Your situation I feel bad for, but your actions, no. I feel like any bad guy, someone's going to feel empathy for if they know that character's background.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying.
I definitely understand that.
Because there people have common things in their life that link each other together. So you're always going to be able to find something that you have in common with someone else that could cause you to be empathetic if you look hard enough.
Yeah.
If you understand me. So, yeah, I get it. Standalone movie. I don't want to feel bad for the bad guy. I just want to hate this asshole. But the Joker doesn't have a solid backstory, ever. It's changed tens of times through the years. We're getting a solid backstory for him to show why the clown press of crime became who he is for the DC universe. And if he has a tragic backstory, I could feel bad for his situation, but once you take that step to killing people, I no longer feel bad for you in the present.
Yeah, all I know is
plus, this is like some way time before Batman began, so
it's not like Batman was the byproduct of something that happened that Batman caused or something.
Yeah, this is him years. It looks like at least a good 20 plus years before Batman became Batman. This was, society looked down upon me and crushed me, and I had it enough, and I'm going to take matters into my own hands.
Yeah.
I'm going to take what I believe is mine, is what it looks like. Or I'm going to push back against the people who've wronged me, and it looks like he takes it too far.
And I feel like that's like my issue with it, because of like, just pointing out that this is something that we are seeing in common practice like every other day. I mean, just today there was another shooting in Texas, and I just feel like this is going to glorify that in a super negative way. And I'm not saying that we haven't seen it before, but I mean, or not to this extent where, where the empathy and like, we're seeing that, oh, society pushed me around, now I'm taking matters into my own hands and I'm killing people or whatever, This is just going to make those people who are having those thoughts or who are in those radical mindsets or groups, that's just going to push them even further into that direction, like, oh, like, look at what he was able to do. Look at with little resources, because the Joker isn't rich. He's just a crazy guy. They're just going to be like, look what little resources he had. And, he took the power into his own hands and did all these things, because he felt he could.
Or it could bring awareness.
It could be an awareness, but stuff like that, like any time that you're trying to bring awareness, you're going to bring awareness to the wrong side of things too. Like the show 13 Reasons Why, it was supposed to bring awareness to suicide and teenagers going through it and being bullied and stuff like that. And look what happened. A bunch of kids killed themselves trying to replicate.
Well, you can't blame it on that, because there was a whole group of psychologists literally telling the producers of the show, do not make this show. After they literally handed the scripts to psychologists, and it's like, do you think this is a bad thing to put on air? And everyone 100% was like, yeah, because you're romanticizing suicide.
Yeah, for sure. But it's not just that though. 16 and pregnant, same thing. A bunch of more kids were trying to get on the show 16 and pregnant. People are impressionable, especially younger people, and if these things are being exposed like this, then it is. You're definitely right. It's going to hopefully give more exposure to like, this is fucked up and this is why we shouldn't do this. Damn, this is hella crazy. Like, so maybe some guy might see this and be like, you know what, I need to chill out. I'm not trying to be like the Joker. He on that bullshit, But somebody else might see this and be like, bro, like, he's doing all this. Like I could do so much more, you know, or something along those lines.
So
I'm just saying that.
So if that's the
I
case,
feel like it's
should we take the Republican approach to this matter and stop showing violence in media altogether?
I really don't.
Should we show no one with mental health issues that can cause them to go crazy and shoot up a place or stab a bunch of people? Or
Well, I mean that could possibly be an option, but the way, because the movies play in the subconscious a lot. They they leave you in a hypnotic state for a good 2 hours. They can literally pump you with any message that they wanted to. So I can definitely see some people taking this the wrong way and be like, yeah, I think that's going to be my answer too, since I saw this in that movie. And I identify with what he was going through in my life and this and that.
Some people see Joker as the hero.
Yeah, a lot of people do see Joker as a hero.
So it's just I just think that it's the glorifying of it is crazy to me, and I just want there to be a massive a byproduct of a bunch of just crazy, just batshit crazy people out there all of a sudden because they're like, oh shit, like I'm trying to be like my hero.
Here's the problem with that argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is an issue that solely is worse in the States than anywhere else in the world.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's definitely
100%.
true.
If you want to, people have been saying video games. Japan has a video game culture that is bigger than ours.
Yeah.
Their games are worse with the violence and horror and whatnot.
Uncensored anime.
Uncensored everything. They don't go shoot up places. They don't have mass shootings because it's hard to get weapons, but that's a whole different conversation. They're not as crazy as us. UK media, Japanese movies are just as scary, or they have villains and stuff just like ours do. But they're not as crazy as we are. There's something unique about these states that make us want to go kill each other and say, you know what, I can beat that. There's just a unique problem.
That's definitely true. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think I agree with you on that, just because as Americans, we're probably the most susceptible to having crazy mindsets like that, because we live in such a I'd say it's such a sheltered world, but that's not exactly true. But I'd say, as far as everyone either in their phones or in technology and stuff like that, people don't have conflict resolution as a skill anymore. It's just take it to the extreme immediately, because I don't want to get embarrassed and I don't want to have nobody put me on social media being embarrassed. I'm just going to take it to the extreme immediately, right off the bat. So I think that's how we can, as Americans, I think that's why we see more of these things happening to us. But in Japan, for what the most part I know, they don't really have, they have a lot of technology over there, but they don't really have people living in their phones, living in screens and stuff like that. They have, there's so many people in such a condensed area, they're literally forced to talk to each other and talk things out. So I can definitely agree with you in that.
I also believe that it takes three things to do something crazy, right? You need your reason to do it, you need your intent to do it, and you need your capability to do it. So your reasoning, I'm being bullied, I don't like this group of people. My intent, I'm going to go shoot up this place, stab somebody, murder my family, whatever. My capability, if I'm over 18, I could just go get a gun. I could just walk into fucking Walmart, buy a shotgun, boom, bam, there it is. Or I can just go buy a couple of knives from somewhere. Americans have the capability to cause mass harm easily.
Yeah, at the drop of a dime.
At the drop of a dime, I can go into Walmart right now and buy a fucking hatchet, $10.
Start chopping motherfuckers up.
Literally, I can wait to get into the parking lot, unwrap the damn thing, walk right back into the store. I can go buy a gun right now.
So I just started thinking. I had just a quick side note. Kind of relating this to comic books and just our mental state in general. So Americans are very wishy-washy with certain things, obviously. There's certain things that we fucked with in the 90s that we don't fuck with anymore. There's certain things that we didn't fuck with in the 90s that we fuck with now. I just had this kind of revelation in my head as we were talking about the Joker, because it's comic book related, obviously. Do you think that's why comic books are starting over so much? Because, like, Americans are fucking crazy?
Yeah, pretty much.
Never thought about it.
Like, any comic book here that you can think of is that there's not one story. It's a bunch of people remaking the story over and over again. They can't get it right. People don't fuck with it. They change it. They change the background. They change whatever. They change his name. They change his powers. They change his abilities. They change whatever the fuck they want to change about it, But then in Japan or in other countries, when they bring out a story, it's one solid story through and through. From the fucking 80s till now, from the fucking... from whenever it started, it's the same. They may add to it. They may They may grow. They may do a prequel or something, but it's always the same story through and through for the most part.
Well, we also don't pass down traditions like other people. Americans can be brought up with something, and then once you get out your parents' house, you can literally just turn around and say, fuck that shit. I'm not doing it no more.
That is true.
So with that being said, what's a story to me? I don't care if this story was important to my dad. I want something. I might want something more violent. But then again, my kids might want something a little bit more watered down and less violent. Yeah. So of course, the Superman I grew up with ain't the Superman my dad grew up with. Ain't the Superman that my granddad used to buy for whatever. It's all different.
That's crazy.
It's because Americans, we always want something more fresh. We want something new. Give me something new. Buff him. He's too strong. We don't like him being too strong. Okay, let's water him down. Oh man, you made him a fucking wuss. Why would you do that shit?
It's that ADHD culture, man. ADHD.
Yeah, ADHD culture.
For real. That's crazy.
Clearly, it is. As someone who takes medicine for that shit, I can honestly say sometimes I will get something and then ask myself, why the fuck did I get this? And forget why I got it. And 10 minutes later, be like, holy shit, I got this. Why am I not using it?
Oh, man. I mean, that makes sense. I feel like that also kind of goes hand in hand with like attention span.
It's impulse. Impulse control is what it is. Americans are impulsive.
So with this whole Joker and the whole take on it about it relating basically to mass shooters essentially, do you think that cancel culture will come after anything else in
cancel culture is going to come after everything. If it offends someone, you can guarantee cancel culture is going to come out, because Americans want to feel unique, but they don't like for anyone else to feel unique.
For real.
So if it offends my uniqueness, I'm going to speak out against it.
That just reminds me of like so the reason why I'd asked if you guys had watched the Dave Chappelle Netflix, the new special he had, the reason why I'd asked, it's called Sticks and Stones, by the way, if anybody's interested.
Yeah.
He really dives a lot into that whole culture of things, the whole culture, the whole way of thinking in general. Basically, just he does like a impersonation of us, an impression of us, and makes fun of the audience, basically saying that's you guys, it's fucking you guys.
Yeah, I made it to pass that part.
Yeah, so he really dove into that, and I remember when we first talked about the Joker, I was like, man, I never really thought that cancel culture would make this far, and I thought that I wonder if this is the next evolution of cancel culture, because celebrities and stuff like that. A lot of times they don't really get canceled. They lose a deal or something. They hurt their pockets briefly, but then they get to go on and do, some other series. They already have money, so they're just chilling or something, stuff like that.
Kind of like how Kevin Hart got away with the gay comments he had from 10 years ago.
Yeah, basically, he actually addressed that too. So now that that's kind of out of the way, and we're not really seeing much change with that. And the Joker's the first victim, it seems like, because there's plenty of other controversial characters out there in the world. I'm just wondering how long it's going to take for that style of culture, that reasoning to just kind of pilfer its way into the masses and say we can't be having this anymore. Because there was a point in the golden age of comic books that I think people weren't fucking with comic books or whatever because the violence in them or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it comes back around again because people are they're seeing this. Comic books are violent. They're promoting certain things, even though comic books do promote a lot of positive things, acceptance, not caring about somebody's skin color or whatever, standing up to bullies, things like that, and, overcoming your limits, et cetera. Very good messages, very inspiring stories, things that people can relate to. But somebody's going to see that and be like, oh no, my kid will not be reading that. You know what I mean? I remember when I was younger, I want to say my mom didn't want me watching VR Troopers at one point. But I watched Power Rangers, even though they're both violent shows. But she didn't want me to watch VR Troopers because she thought it was too violent for me. And I'm like, it's basically Power Rangers, but just different.
You saying that Power Rangers is a violent show is hilarious.
I was 5 years old, so it's I'm watching these people punch and kick stuff. And when I was a kid, I actually got in trouble for trying to play Power Rangers in school, punching and kicking the air like I'm fighting a monster.
I believe that. I believe that. I can picture that shit right now.
So it's just I'm just curious as to when it's going to come to a point where.
So look at it this way. What's the difference between you that can watch Power Rangers and not take it out of whack, but make someone else change their whole brain chemistry to I gotta fight all these monsters and they're real?
I'm black.
Well, what?
No,
But no,
there's
seriously, I don't know. It's just like having an understanding. I have an imagination and a huge imagination. I still do. I think of stories all the time and come up with things, but I understand the difference between reality and imaginary, I guess.
there are some people
It was
that
the same way. I knew certain things were
totally
real.
believe it.
You said what?
Like there's some people that if you tell them something, they'll believe anything. They're highly gullible. They're not the smartest fucking person in the world. That's why you don't see a lot of racists going to shoot up like black churches, but they hate black people. What was the difference between one kid going to shoot up the black church versus the millions of anti-black people in the States?
That's a good question. It's a really good
One of them is smart enough to be like, I'm not going to prison. The other one's like,
I'm not going.
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Technically, the other guy's not going to prison too. He probably offed himself before he finished.
Exactly. You know, what's the difference? You know, it's just it. Some people aren't equipped to handle certain forms of media. Some people aren't equipped to be in charge of themselves. That's why people should step in. If you know your child is fucking nuts and will believe everything, don't let him watch the news. Don't monitor what media. That's why parental controls are a thing.
That's true.
You know, America don't take care of the mentally ill. We don't. I can say as a black person, the fucking black community definitely don't take care of mentally ill people. Sure. Ain't nothing wrong with that boy. He just a little
He's a little slow. He a little slow.
Go out there and play with the other kids.
Man.
Yo, your kid has schizophrenia. He's out there playing with the other kids, but the other kids don't exist.
Wow.
You know, monitor that shit. You know, like, yo, you ain't.
He trying to get us canceled.
Yeah, I know, right?
Fight me. At me in the comments.
Oh my god!
It's just like depression. Like depression, people still don't think depression's a real thing. People don't think ADHD is a real thing.
It's crazy.
Why? Because it's not something physical you can see.
I was just gonna say, I think for stuff like that, it just depends because like people feel like if something works for them, it should work for everybody. So, like, let's say somebody's diagnosed with ADHD. You know what I mean? You can't. I don't think there's a physical way to diagnose for ADHD and say like, hey, you got ADHD, but like
I was diagnosed before I sat down.
But I'm talking about like they can't stick you with a needle, or something like that and say, hey, you have ADHD. It's something that a doctor's going to tell you. Like, you got trouble focusing, you got trouble concentrating or something. You
gotta go through test after test after test.
So if somebody has that and they say like they make it, they're like, oh, I'm fine. I run a multi-million-dollar business. I'm doing this, and this. All that. It's not real. That don't exist. It's perpetuating that, but it's like for you, whatever, you found a way. Awesome, you made it work. Maybe you made your ADHD work for you. You know what I mean? You use all that creativity and that ability to not focus on certain things, and you get distracted real easily. But those distractions are what gave you creative impulses and gave you this vast amount of whatever it is, creativity to make and create something that is super beneficial for you.
It's like
that's not going to work for everybody, though.
It's like those functional drunks or the functional druggies. Even though they're on some type of substance, the substance is actually what keeps them going.
Yeah.
If they didn't have that substance in their life, it'd be
fucked up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
But to answer your question about the cancel culture, I don't think it ever ends. I think people are just going to continue to find certain things to go ahead and cancel because people in America are on a hive mindset. Like if a group of people don't like something, nobody wants to be the outcast and say, hey, it's okay. They're just going to jump with the rest of the crowd and be, yeah, go ahead, cancel that, even though they secretly like it in their heart.
It's like me and Sunny talked about, I don't know, I'm weird and I have weird thought patterns, or I have like stuck in the mud thought patterns that I can't go nowhere with. Like, you ever met one of those females that are pro-LGBT like 100%, but they're not gay?
Yeah.
But as soon as someone does anything that would be perceived as anti-LGBT, they're the one that files the complaint and not the actual LGBTQ person.
Yeah, that shit happens a lot. That shit sucks.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like, this might not offend me, but it might offend someone else, so let me go ahead and file the complaint.
I hate that sort of shit, to be honest.
So if it doesn't offend me and it was made towards me, what gives you the right to
complain about it?
Complain about it. It may offend you as a singular person, and yes, you may file your complaint and you may speak out against it. But for everyone else that may actually want to see the movie, want to hear that music, want to hear that speaker, like you're ruining it for that person or that group. And no, it doesn't link, but it's my weird analogy. Like it's like the college campus shit.
You definitely have a point.
Yeah, it's the college campus shit. Remember, they were having Republican speakers speak on these campuses, and people got up in protest, and then the speaker didn't come. Well, just because you were against that person doesn't mean there was someone at the campus that was for that person. I don't care what unless they're out there spewing some 100% racist bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the Ben Shapiro guy?
Yeah, like I don't like Ben Shapiro. I think he flip-flops and he's hypocritical. But hey, someone might like him. I'm just not going to go to the fucking rally. You don't like to hear me talk. You think I might offend someone else. Either A, tell me that in person so I can fix the way I speak, or don't fucking listen to me. A or B.
Like, yeah, but I think I think for like things like that though, like you said with them going to college campuses, or even like you think about things where you have like the presidential elections are going to be coming up here actually really soon, and the fact that there's already people campaigning, starting to get their arguments ready to campaign for presidency. I mean, you see it all the time with our current president, with Donald Trump going out doing all his rallies, doing all his things that he usually does, and you have people that aren't supporters that just show up just to give them like to get their 5 minutes of fame, to be able to try to get their voice out there and to like say, oh yeah, well, I'm going to make a fool out of myself in front of all these people to get my voice across, so that when they throw me out, I get my supporters, you know? And it's kind of like, that's what I see a lot happening now in this day and age.
Well, it's because in our society, it's acceptable. Not trying to I'm going to bring the Constitution in it just because the way it is written, it was never written to be a solid form of government to be kept throughout all the years. It was supposed to be adapted as the times changed, but it has never been adapted as the times changed. So you have this
quick side note. Hold on. Pause. Quick side note. That joke that Dave Chappelle said about the Constitution was hilarious. Continue.
All right. But, it's written, and people either A, follow it like they would the Bible down to the last letter, or interpret it like they would the Bible. That's what it says, but it can also mean this,
Uh-huh.
So you have people say, oh, this is my freedom of speech. You can't do this to me, freedom of speech. But what, in reality, your freedom of speech doesn't protect you from getting, punched in the face or arrested, or I just can't stop you from saying it or protesting or writing about it unless I take some sort of legal action. So people will sit there and hide behind something saying, you can't kick me out of this because I'm protesting and you're not allowed to shut down my protest. And they're covered. Americans love drama. That's why, the more drama I create,
Facts.
the more attention that's going to be brought upon me.
Oh, yeah. Especially during this day and age.
Yeah. So if I cry and scream really loud on social media about how this is wrong and we should fight up against it and stand up and stand our ground, and we should sign a petition and send it to the producers and the directors, the louder I cry, the more people that are going to look at my post and be like, I 100% agree with that guy.
It's a shame he should be free.
Yeah. Let's sign a petition. He's saying exactly what like I said. I don't like how this character is being written because it's going to say it's okay for the bully person to murder 100 people. Let's all get together and cry and sign the petition, not knowing that the movie has already been fucking made. There ain't shit they gonna do about it.
All I know is I'm waiting for Redbox because I don't want to sit in the theater with these angry white people watching somebody, white person on the video.
I'm trying to be just like you right now. What?
But no.
Wait till I leave.
We should wait until we see the full scope of the character before we decide if we should cancel something. Yeah. They try to cancel Lil Nas through multiple ways. Oh, he was a Nicki Minaj stan. Oh, he's fucking gay. Oh, this, that, or the other. And it didn't work. I think cancel culture, they tried that shit with Aziz Ansari whenever that, I don't even know what the fuck.
It was about supposedly raping somebody though, wasn't it?
Yeah, like Me Too.
Awkward date. Thank you, Sonny. Aziz Ansari's awkward date, where he tried to have sex with the girl and she said no, so he stopped. She started kissing him. He started kissing back, made the move. She said stop. And they end up watching Netflix on the couch, naked, apart from each other, and he called her a fucking Uber in the morning. Awkward fucking date. You said stop. You attempt to keep going. He's like, oh shit, I guess she wants it. Stop. They try to cancel him. The story comes out. Everyone's like, no, that's fucking stupid. Once we hear the fucking story, we're not going to cancel Aziz.
Yeah.
I think for some things it can work for like an actual rapist or child molester or pervert, and you want to cancel someone with some actual reasoning behind it, like
R. Kelly,
Ben Roethlisberger.
Man, they trying to kill me, man.
Like, if you want to cancel
for my life,
like if you want to cancel R. Kelly over that shit, he should have been canceled like fucking 30 years ago.
For real.
But yeah, cancel R. Kelly. That's cool. Because it was a reason. You want to cancel a fictional character that we don't even know how he's going to develop into the film until the review came out today? Wait to see it. Afterwards, yeah, go for the cancel. But I guarantee you the same people that are complaining about how the Joker is acting now were the same kids in high school that was like, oh my God, I want to be Harley Quinn. I love Joker and Harley Quinn. That's my little.
But anyways, I think overall, we just want to kind of give the big middle finger to cancel culture. I'm trying not to cuss as much. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. I'm trying to get saved. But
well, I don't know. I'm at about 5 F-bombs.
But moving on from there real quick, I wanted to discuss the ASAP Rocky video with you guys. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch it. It's called Babushka Boi. It's his new single.
Yeah, I did. I watched it today.
What about you, DJ? Did you get to watch it?
Kind of. I watched half of it and then I got distracted by my kids.
Okay, what about you, Daniel? Did you see it?
I did not get a chance to see it.
So, okay, well, let me just give you kind of a rundown of the video or whatever, right? He released the clip or whatever, and it was like, it looked like ASAP Nast and a couple other guys, and they were just talking. I'm not really sure under all that makeup who they were exactly, but it was a couple guys, and they're supposed to be like mafia or like the mob or something or whatever, right? They're running around just doing crimes and stuff. But they're like, he was like doing a little tap dance in his little babushka, or his little like, what the fuck is that thing called? The little thing that goes around his head? Whatever. Anyway. And in the video, these guys are all together again, and there's the police in the video, and they're actual pigs. Like, so they're dressed like pigs. They're all fat. They all have like pig nose, pig ears, and stuff. They got makeup on or whatever. And they got little like
cops are pigs.
Yeah. They got little cap guns or whatever, right? And they're like chasing them around while they're doing crimes. They like rob a bank. They like go hide out at his grandma's house. They at the end they have like a big shootout with them or whatever, and everybody is like there's some kind of distortion with all of them. So like one of the guys has like curly hair, and he has like his face is real like demonic looking, right? Another guy, it's a white dude. He looks real demonic looking, scary. ASAP Nast has like a big old, I don't know if you know who Tombstone from Spider-Man is, kind of like a square head, but it was like, I guess like cylinder. It's like a flat on the top, and it's like a cylinder or whatever. ASAP Rocky had like these crazy scars on his cheek. And then I want to say the last guy was Schoolboy Q. I'm not really sure, but he had like a really big head, like super like
oh yeah,
right?
Megamind.
Basically, yeah. So at the end, they kill the cops because they have all kinds of cool guns, and the cops just have little cap guns. The cops die. They turn them into sausage. That's pretty much the end of the video, right? Here's my thing on it, though, right? One, I didn't really like the whole demonic take on it. The way the look of it all, was super unnecessary. I couldn't think of one single reason why those guys looked the way they looked. Couldn't think of it at all. For fun, sure, possibly, but it just looked real bad, especially because ASAP Rocky looked the most normal with just like scars on his face, kind of like how the Joker had, but not from his mouth, just on his cheeks. And then everybody else just looked kind of like, like some kind of demon or something, That's
just weird. They look like, remember Fairy Tale when they're in the fucking tower and you had the fucking black dude?
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me.
It was crazy. It was super weird.
Yeah. You know what my problem with that video was? I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
My problem with the video, it had nothing to do with the fucking lyric.
That's true too.
Like I'm trying to listen to the lyrics and watch the video, and I'm just like, nothing's adding up. Like, what the fuck is this? Secondly, why did you get the cops pop guns and you have fucking machine guns?
Yeah, they had all kinds of guns, and the cops had little pop guns, little orange pop guns in their hands, looking all scared and stuff. And they had a little final stand down. But I didn't understand either why cops caught the bullets. I don't understand. Like, why wouldn't you go for the people who if you think that was an injustice done to you, the injustice wasn't done to you by the police. the injustice was done to you by the criminal justice system, mainly like lawyers and the judge and whoever over there in Sweden, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand why he decided to go out of his way to make a video. Kind of obviously he was dissing cops. They're dressed like pigs. They turn into sausage at the end of the video. They kill the cops and all that stuff. So I'm so curious. I couldn't even think of why that would be.
Well, maybe it wasn't actually about Sweden.
That's possible too.
Maybe he was just doing a callback on what's actually going on in America. Maybe having the cops, have the cap guns and looking all scared and shook. Maybe that's a play on how regular Americans feel, or how the black community feels, or how America would feel if they took all the guns from everybody. Like if they have all the guns, maybe that's why he's throwing that out there. That's what I'm saying.
It's possible. I mean, A$AP Rocky is not necessarily a slouch when it comes to creativity, in my opinion. In the past, at least, I don't think that he's really had that many original ideas, honestly. I feel like most of his songs or his video ideas, I have seen them once or twice before in the past. And, you can kind of just easily tell what his inspirations are. I know he's dealt with psychedelics, so I know he has that piece of his mind open. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, as far as, like, a good political statement, I mean, it's possible. It's just like it's like kind of what a lot of people talked about, him having that like direct 180 about like being a leader, caring about what's going on, in the black community and stuff. Even though he was just saying he didn't care about that stuff, I mean, it was years ago. Things have changed definitely. He was just in jail in Sweden. He could definitely be trying to make some kind of statement, a powerful statement with this video. If so, this is probably the first time he's ever tried to do something like this. This is probably the most the biggest attack in a video he's ever portrayed. He's never really been that far outspoken, like as idea wise. It's never been something like, he's painting a picture and it's like, oh my gosh, like this idea is so radical, dude. This is crazy. You know what I mean? His stuff is usually more like, more romantic, more like like videos in the hood, maybe like in the beginning. Now it's more like more romanticized, like dreamy and and flowy and stuff, and hypnotic. This is like really like an attack on the police. I don't know, like I said, the makeup with the demons and stuff like that, it was way out there and it was super different in my opinion. The song, it was all right. It wasn't nothing special. I mean, I don't think A$AP Rocky's the best rapper in that camp. I definitely think the best one goes to Ferg, but both of them kind of need to get their heads out of their ass.
It was just another flex. That's all that song was. I'm just gonna flex.
Basically. Moving on from there, I guess, we'll just round this off with a couple of albums that we listened to. DJ, I want to save your album for last, all right?
All right, that's good with me.
All right. Starting off, do you want to go first, Daniel? Name me some of the albums that you listened to this last week.
Yeah, I can start off with that. Well, the first one that really, I talked to you about it last week. It was called by this guy named Andy Mineo. Mm-hmm. I mean, we talked about NF a couple of weeks ago. We're talking about he was the Christian rapper and he came out. Everybody was impressed with his style, with his cadence, with his flow and everything. But actually, Andy Mineo, he was one of the original, white Christian rappers out here. He's part of the 116 clique, which is Lecrae's camp.
Okay.
116 being from a scripture of Romans 1:16, where it says, "I'm unashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God to bring to salvation to everyone who believes." And so
preach.
So by pretty much their whole camp, if anybody's ever heard of Lecrae, their whole camp, they not only do they rap, but they preach too as well. They go to churches and they're motivational speakers as well. But if we liked NF this much, I feel like Andy Mineo is an even better rapper. Not because he doesn't use the speed pretty much like the way NF does, but his punchlines and the way he talks to you in the album, it hits you like, whoa. How did you know I was going through that right now? But
if you're endorsing him, I'll give him a listen. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm definitely endorsing Andy Mineo. I love the interludes too. The interludes are like he actually records his own podcast as well, and he puts some of his podcast thoughts in there. And even those are filled with like a bunch of gems, with a bunch of wisdom and knowledge in those. The other album I found actually today was Joell Ortiz. I know it's completely opposite spectrum. I know it's kind of crazy, but
Joell Ortiz, I know he be rappity rapping.
Yeah, he rap. He's an old Slaughterhouse veteran.
Yeah.
He's a whole different animal when it comes to rap. He's got the cadence, he's got the vocabulary, and his storytelling. So that's a big thing a lot of rappers don't have today is storytelling. That's what made Eminem a real big thing with Stan. You know, that's what Jay-Z did and Nas did. They can sit there and tell you a story. They can give you every detail, every aspect of what's going on. Joell Ortiz does that in this album as well. He talks about things going on with his son, with his mom, things you don't even know are going on in his life. And he's finally like, okay, I'm opening up now after I've been in the game for 10 years. You didn't even know I was going through this, but here we go. So those are the two I was going through. And then as well as St. John. I really enjoyed St. John's album. For anybody who hasn't heard of St. John, he's a singer. I kind of compare him to, I want to say I compare him to Bryson Tiller, but he's got a deeper voice though. But he's got really good music. He has really good features on there. He had A Boogie on there. He had Lenny Kravitz on there, Lil Baby, Meek Mill. It pretty much hits every genre in there of the music. So you can definitely hear the inspirations for all of those. So those are the three: Joell Ortiz, Andy Mineo, and St. John for me.
Piggybacking off of Daniel real quick, I listened to the St. John album as well. I like the sound. I like the sound of his voice. I wish there was a little less auto-tune going on in there, but overall, I feel like his music reminds me of. It's something I'll listen to I'm trying to set a mood, you know. Like it's nice, it's pleasant, it's easy on the ears. It's not super aggressive or super vulgar or anything like that. So it's good music overall. Like I said, just a little bit less auto tune. I'd appreciate that. But you know, like I said, overall, he's a dope artist. Definitely give him a listen. He's awesome. It was a little busy this week, obviously, with the brand new baby, you know, in the world, and you know, hospital stays and stuff.
The baby.
There you go. Put that as my drop, Sonny. But anyway, after I also listened to the Rapsody album. Her newest album is called Eve. Rapsody continues to evolve as an artist, and I appreciate that about her. One of the things that I want to point out about the album is that all of her tracks are named after prominent African American women, and I think it's so beautiful that she's kind of really she's coming up in a way that is extremely positive. There's really no negative to it, you know, as far as like what somebody wants to point out, you know, oh my gosh, she's rapping about her pussy, she's rapping about being a hoe, she's rapping about being a stripper, whatever.
Jermaine Dupri.
Wow. Exactly, you know. So there's no real cons to the style that she's bringing, because she's coming with bars, she's coming with intellectual thoughts, she's coming with just pretty much everything that you would want to see in a well put together rapper, you know. She can tell a story. She got, like I said, plenty of bars. She's pretty much well rounded, right? In her album, I think all the tracks sounded great. She has a couple of features: K. Roosevelt, D'Angelo, Jizza, a couple other people that I never heard. She has a song with JID and Sir. She has a song with Queen Latifah. Plenty of features. There's a song on here. I forget the name of the title, and I don't want to play it right now, obviously, but she has a song that it sounds so much like Missy Elliott. It's not even funny. And I loved it just because of the nostalgic feeling. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure Missy Elliott came with the project too. It's like 4 tracks. I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but that song to me, like, it really just kind of made me feel warm inside, you know, being young, probably having your parents listening to Missy Elliott, you know, because they're around that time frame. It kind of just brought back some good memories and gave me a good feeling overall. And like I said, the album was great overall too. And then last but not least, I listened to the new Brockhampton album, Ginger. I listened to the album the most. I probably listened to it like at least 2 times all the way through. Some of their tracks, such as Boy Bye, what else do they have? No Halo, Sugar probably being my favorite track on the whole album. It's really good, well put together. And I like that on all the tracks. I don't think there's any features. If they are, they're surprises, but I couldn't hear anybody prominent. But I like that all the tracks are by different it incorporates different members of the group for the vocals. It's not just one guy that's like the lead singer and he just does all the vocals all the way through. It's different parts of the group. They all get their own little time to shine, you know, and there's tons of instrumentation, tons of transitions, tons of beats. It's a beautiful album. Go ahead and check it out. And then finally, DJ, drum roll, please.
Wow. It's so obviously on the 30th of this month, this is August that we're talking about, Tool, after 13 years of being absent in the music scene, especially with Maynard the way that he is, and he likes to have 50 million different projects, Tool finally released their album, Fear in Column is what I believe it's how it's pronounced. I don't English that well, so I can't really pronounce it. But album dropped. We expected it to be in August. Didn't know it was going to be late August. But it dropped, and I will say that it is amazing. It is a great album. It is definitely an album you got to give a couple of listens to. For those of you who don't know who Tool is more of a hard rock sort of metal-ish genre they started out in the 90s. So for a lot of people, they don't really know or hear of Tool. Like I said, they've been gone for 13 years. But so they just dropped their album, and every single track is great. They have a couple of interludes in there that they play, and it's kind of like a transition to the next part of the album. There's, I think, 13 songs total, 10 of them being actual tracks, 3 of those interludes, like I was saying, and it was...
You said how many?
13 tracks.
Oh, I thought you said 30. I was like, damn.
No, not 30. No. Well, that's why it took them 30 years, or 13 years, but no. So the album's great, and as of right now, it's actually predicted to outsell Taylor Swift's Lover this week to be on the Billboard's #1 album for the next coming month. Which, I mean, we'll see. It's a really good song. It has a lot of good pacing, a lot of good music, and it feels as though they came back from where they were. 13 years has passed, but nothing has really changed. And I hope that this isn't the end, but from what I hear, this might be the final album from Tool.
When did they first come out again?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I believe they came out. Let me see if I can search this up real quick. They were formed in the 90s, 1990.
Okay, because I was going to say that's a long time to be doing music as a group, as a collective. A lot of times, I mean, bands don't make it like fucking past their second album, like the whole group or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But so I mean, you know, more power to them if they stay together, if they stay in the game. You know, I know the music business it's definitely not kind to the older generation, and it's definitely hard to keep going and to keep pleasing the fans. You know, especially trying to get new fans and garner more attention. But you know, all of these albums came out. Please go ahead and give them a listen. You know, they're you know, we try to give you guys the best music that we're listening to, and you know, keep you guys up to date with, you know, whatever we're listening to. A lot of it tends to be hip hop, sure, but you know, there's some other little hidden gems in there. You know, obviously DJ kind of being our rock correspondent, Daniel knowing more about like the Christian hip hop and hip hop in general. I know about hip hop. Sam, you know, he does things. Anyway,
he's in that old Tyrone Panini hybrid country hip hop rap genre. Let's call it that.
There you go.
I listen to everything. I don't discriminate.
You might like country.
But that about wraps it up probably for this episode. This has been another installment of Culture by the Uncultured. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Please be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter is going to be CBT Uncultured. Everything else is Culture by the Uncultured. You can, of course, listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Go ahead and also check us out. Check our website out, at www.culturebytheuncultured.com. We also have a Patreon, so if you feel like you want to support, we'll give you guys a shout out. And other than that, you know, sayonara, suckers. See you later.